Leachates. Leachates. Leachates.
Hello. Testing. Oh boy. Oh, my voice is worse than I thought. I'm slightly, well, I guess you can tell, slightly congested. How's everybody doing? Say hello in chat so I know that you're there. I'm NoJoke, by the way. Hello, how's everybody doing? How's it going? Let me get centered and everything. I'm sure you want to get a good look at me. This is the most important part of the stream, is seeing me. Audio levels seem okay. I have chat ready to go. I'm seeing people chatting with me, which is very important. If you've never been a streamer, it's very disconcerting to just be sitting in your house by yourself. There's no one in the house as far as I know, and you're just talking. And you assume people are listening, but in the back of your mind, you're sort of wondering, like, is anyone actually there? Am I just talking to no one? Am I gonna stop doing this in 2 hours and just realize that I was talking to myself like a crazy person? Probably not, but maybe. So, let's get this started. Let me tell you how everything works, sort of set the ground rules, and then we will dive right into questions. Let me get a little bit lower there. There we go. I will be taking questions. Let me fix the audio levels here. I will be taking questions. In the past, I had taken questions from chat, and I may do a bit of that today, but I am going to try to take questions from the Twitter thread, the Facebook thread, and the forum thread, because those are the ones we posted beforehand for questions. And it's a little more controlled. It can be confusing for viewers who are either viewing live or on the VOD when the question that I'm answering is sort of hidden in chat, which isn't on the VOD if you're watching YouTube. Twitch has, I believe, built-in chat on the VODs, but I don't know. It's a little weird. It's more controlled if I can like show you the question on screen. Here's the question. Here's me answering. It's all in one place. It's all very simple. So I think I'm going to work through the Twitter questions, and then I'll do some forum questions. We'll glance at the Facebook thread. And then if there's time, I'll either keep going through the forum thread or look at chat. I'm NoJoke, by the way. I should have introduced myself. Very nice to meet you. I am a Lichess administrator. For many years. I probably should have looked up how many years it was before I brought myself down this this subject. I don't know, 6, 7 years, something like that. I am not Tebow, no. I don't especially look like Tebow or sound like Tebow, so that's a very silly thing to say, but it's okay to be confused. Another thing that happens is very usefully is that if you ask a question in chat, sometimes, but not always, but sometimes a different Lichess person that is not me will answer the question in chat, and you get your answer that way. So your answer will not be quite as handsome and charming as it would have been had it been answered here, but it will get answered. And if it's something, fairly simple, if it has like a 1 or 2 word answer, or if the answer is just a link to something, your chances of getting it answered in chat is excellent. I should also mention, if you have questions on days other than today, there are lots of ways to get those questions answered. If I did not know anything about Lichess and had some issue with Lichess and wanted to get it solved, the first thing I would do is go to lichess.org/contact, because there you will find answers to all of the most common questions. So your question is most likely something that gets asked again and again and again, and you can just with a few clicks find the answer. Boom, you don't have to wait for anyone to respond. You don't have to have any social interaction. You don't have to know anybody. You just, there's my answer. If it is something more complicated, I would recommend heading to the Discord. The Discord is linked on the homepage. It is discord.gg/Lichess. There are people in there more or less 24 hours a day. Probably a little bit less in off hours. You might have to wait a bit to get your question answered then. But we have a Discord channel. Go to the support question, ask whatever you would like, and people will get back to you ASAP. What will I not be talking about today? Well, I'm not allowed to talk about specific cheat detection methods, and I'm not allowed to talk about specific cases. But I am allowed to talk about cheat detection more generally. There's actually a lot that I can say about cheat detection in terms of how we handle it, what our infrastructure is, and things along those lines. In the past, I think I was a little bit too categorical about this, right? I was on the Perpetual podcast, and I forget exactly what I said, but I think the interviewer told me, like, well, obviously you can't talk about cheat connection. I was like, yes, obviously, not one word ever. Yes, obviously. And I don't think I need to be quite that extreme. I can't tell you specific methods. I can't tell you this is what we look for. If you do this, we've got you, right? You're guilty if you do this. And I also can't talk about specific cases. If your friend got banned, I can't help you. I recommend if someone got banned and you think they shouldn't be banned, that you go to lichess.org/appeal. Let's get into the questions. Oh boy, were there a lot of questions. Oh boy, were there a lot of questions. I posted the calls for questions yesterday, roughly 24 hours, maybe like 20 hours before, the stream was to start. And I was a little worried that we wouldn't get enough questions, because I was looking through it and we only had 3 or 4 questions on Twitter and another 3 or 4 on the forum, and that's not quite enough for a 2-hour stream. I would really have to pad that out. Fortunately, I looked at the forum today, and there were 25 pages of questions. So now it seems that I will be unable to get to every single question, but I'll do my best. Chat is also absolutely flying, which is encouraging. That suggests that some people are watching. All right. What's our first question? I just opened the... So, some of the questions will take more time to answer than others, and I hope people won't read too much into that. I've had the experience of people getting upset with me when I answer a question, and that really hurts my feelings because I'm a very empathetic person, and I really I'm attached to my fellow man, and when someone isn't happy with me, it upsets me. And I've answered questions in the past, and people thought I was being flippant, or I was like answering too quickly, or like I think the question is stupid. None of your questions are stupid. Well, some of the questions were stupid, but I don't answer the stupid ones because that makes for a poor stream. If I'm even bringing up your question to answer it, that is ipso facto not a stupid question because I wouldn't be reading a stupid question. So don't feel bad if I read your question, and also don't feel bad if I don't read your question because, you know, you shouldn't feel bad about questions. That's not a good use of feeling bad. Let's get started. Let's dive right into this. I can't wait. All right. By the way, I'm seeing that answering questions from the chat for me would be very difficult. It's going so fast, so I'm glad that we're sticking to wait. Oh no, it's this way. We're sticking to these questions here. All right. Let's begin. Mr. Class and Quality asks, why is the app more limited than the mobile page? Well, that's just because those are two different pieces of software. So the app is one piece of software and one Git repository, and the web page is a totally different thing using totally different languages and not especially connected on any level. They obviously it does the same thing, so it's connected on that level. So the app and the web page will probably never have exactly the same features, right? And let me defend the app a little bit here. The app has some features that the website doesn't have. And there are features that you probably couldn't have with the web page or wouldn't be so useful with the web page, but there are features. There are offline puzzles, off the top of my head, offline puzzles and the clock, the chess clock. You can put a chess clock on your phone if you want to play in real life with in real life pieces for some reason. So there will probably never be absolute 100% feature parity with the app and the web page because they're different projects, they're different people working on them. It is probably true that there is less man hours invested into the app than the web page, but the web page also has more users than the app. Now, the app is not insignificant. The last time I saw the numbers, the app had something like a third of players. So it's a big portion of the users, and we absolutely take it seriously, and we want the app to be good. And there is talk of a big update to the app coming soon, but we don't really have anything to announce on that point because it's not decided how it will be done or when it will be done or etc. But we are mulling a big app update where it would be totally refactored and moved to other languages, etc. Soon, TM, exactly. Let's see, what's the next one? People get in 2 questions. Is this cheating? Are you allowed to have 2 questions on a tweet? I guess I don't mind. But maybe people think that they're skipping a line or something. Anyway, this person's name is difficult to pronounce. Will you be adding new piece sets and let me try to read their name. Or maybe not. I changed my mind. This lovely person, who will go unnamed, will you be adding new piece sets and board themes? And when will Stockfish be upgraded to 15? Let's discuss these questions in turn. Will we be adding new piece sets and board themes? Probably, at some point. I'm not aware of any concrete plans at the moment to add any, but it can happen fast. That sort of thing doesn't take years of planning. You just, if you have a set and everyone's like, you want to use the set, then we use the set. Most new sets are submissions. So someone goes to the GitHub page and they either make the full pull request or they make a GitHub issue and they say, here's my set. Are you all interested? Would you like it? And we either say, yes, we do, or no, we don't. I don't think the team itself has made any new sets in quite a while. So If you consider yourself something of a designer, excuse me, if you consider yourself something of a designer, or there's some set you're interested in existing on Lichess, make a submission. Let's see what you got. We can't promise anything, but we will at least take a look. Let me show you the GitHub page. I should do that. So from the Lichess homepage, instead of just putting in I know the link for the GitHub, but you may not. So let me show you how to find it, and hopefully that will stick in your mind more than the URL. We're going to go down here to the About page. Everybody's seeing this, right? Yes, they are. And we are going to go to Source, I believe. And this is the stuff that makes Lichess. Okay? The main repository for the web page is Lila. And here it is. If you're not familiar with the GitHub page, here are the buttons that you need to know. There's lots of buttons. There are like 3 or 4 that you're going to use, assuming you're not a developer. If you're a developer, you probably wouldn't use the web interface. But anyway, we're getting afield. The buttons you need to know here are the Issues button right here, okay, on the upper left. The Commits button, which is over here on the right. Can you all see my... I hope you all can see my cursor. Anyway, the Commit button's on the far right. The Issues button in the upper left. I think that's about it. So, the Issues button, let's click on the Issues button, are if you have a bug, if you have a feature request where you're asking for something new, if you are submitting a piece set, you would do this here. You would probably do it in an issue. Okay? And when I am working for Lichess and someone asks me about some bug and they say this or that is working, or is not working, pardon me. I tried to hit this button, the button didn't work. I will head to the GitHub page, and I will not make an issue right away because I need to check to see if someone else has already done it. So I look through the issues, maybe I, search a bit, and see if the issue is there. And if it's not, I make an issue. I say, when you hit this button, I expect it to do X, and it instead does Y. Please help me, etc. The other part of GitHub that you're going to want to know about, if you're a bit of a snoop, is anyone here a bit of a snoop? Does anyone like to have inside information? If you are such a person, you can learn very interesting things about Lichess before other people learn them by looking at the commits. For me personally, when I sit down every morning to do my job, I every day look at commits, because commits are new pieces of code that are being put into Lichess. So I, for my job, very much need to know how the website is changing, what is coming up, etc., etc. And very often when some new feature is implemented, you will see the commits start to trickle in for the new feature on the GitHub page, right? And you will see those long before we announce anything. So here are the commits. Now, the commits refer to code, but they are surprisingly human readable. There are going to, if you don't know Scalar, you don't know anything about development, there are going to be some commits that you won't understand. But the good news is that those are likely to be the ones that you're least interested in. If something is being refactored, you're probably not going to follow why or what was exactly done. But that's not as interesting to you. That doesn't affect what you see on the webpage. If some part of Lichess is being updated to a new version, you might not follow what effect that has or what's good. But that doesn't add any new features. Again, that's not going to be especially interesting to you. The stuff that is interesting, you will probably follow, and a lot of it has comments that explain what it does. So let me pick one here. Make tournament reminder translatable. So, and if there's an issue that it's fixing, you will see the issue that it's connected to here. So some things on Lichess are translatable, and they are sent automatically to our translation website, and some things are not. So the tournament reminder, which I believe refers to the private message you get before a tournament starts when you've joined the tournament, will now be a translatable string. Well, the next time the website updates, I guess. And it wasn't before. Okay, so that's good. Let's get to the next question. Oh, when will Stockfish be upgraded to 15? The Stockfish that you use locally on your computer in, SID or, God forbid, ChessBase or whatever else is not the same Stockfish that is on Lichess or on any web page, because that Stockfish does not work very well in browsers, or possibly doesn't work at all. I'm not the expert. That doesn't work. So you need a separate version of Stockfish that works on browsers. In previous versions of Stockfish, this wasn't so difficult. In the newer ones, it is slightly difficult because Stockfish now uses NNUE. There's a net, which is a fairly large file. Not so bad, but large if you're downloading it over mobile networks, I suppose. That needs to be with Stockfish every time you use it, which is sort of a problem for browsers because, a person that's on a mobile browser and has limits, you don't want them to suddenly be... They're expecting to just be sending chess moves and they're downloading some big file. It could be a problem. I'm not sure if where the efforts to get Stockfish 15 onto Lichess stand at the moment. I haven't seen anybody working on it, but I'm not looking over the shoulder of every single developer, so it's possible. So yeah, all of that to not answer the question. The answer is I don't know, but I thought it would be interesting to explain things a bit. Let's see. Oh boy, I feel bad for this one. Do you remember when I said I was empathetic? Well, this one hurts me a bit, but the truth will set you free. Tank and some numbers says, I wanted to spend some money for your great work, but couldn't send you money because I have no credit card. When do you guys implement payment with Bitcoin? Well, we had payments with Bitcoin. Not sure exactly how long ago, but not too long ago. And we now don't. And the reason we removed them was because we see ethical and moral problems with Bitcoin specifically, and crypto in general to some extent. And we decided we didn't want to encourage the use of Bitcoin by accepting it on our website. So we took it down. We took down the link. Do I need to discuss why the ethical, or what the ethical and moral problems are? Wasting computer cycles, climate change, etc., etc. People losing lots of money and getting themselves into financial trouble, chasing the dragon, etc., etc. If people are interested in those things, I'm sure you can find them online. And probably explained in a more eloquent way than I would. That wasn't so bad. I'm sorry, Tank. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry enough to accept Bitcoin, but I'm sorry to have such a negative answer to your question. Okay, next question. Burnt Leaves. I like that name. That's a really good username. Burnt Leaves. 2 questions. This is another twofer. People are sneaking in questions. All right. Question number 1. Is chess addiction a real problem, and can Lichess promote a healthy way to manage this? I personally do believe that chess addiction is a real thing. But, the word addiction is very loaded, and people have ideas about it that might be different than the ones that I have. So it's one of these words that when I say it, I'm not sure if the idea that I'm trying to put in people's heads is the same as the one that came out of my head and into my mouth and into the words. So let's not call it addiction because that word's too loaded. Let's say people have problematic use. Their relationship with playing chess is problematic for them. They find themselves obsessing to a degree that causes problems in their life. They struggle to stop playing chess when they should, etc., etc. So I absolutely believe that problematic chess playing exists. We get emails all the time from people who say it exists and say it is happening to them. They say, I can't stop playing. I play too much. I'm going to ruin my life. I'm going to do this and that, And sometimes they're asking for themselves to be banned, or they're asking for, mostly asking to be banned or asking to somehow to be cut off from Lichess. What I generally recommend to them is that they need to find something on their end to cut themselves off. The moderators we have get enough work chasing cheaters and other people that behave poorly without also chasing volunteers. So it's also sort of like if you go to an alcoholic's house and throw all their booze away, it's not going to work. You could just go to the store and buy more. It's not really a solution. I think the solution is probably not on the website. I think it is with psychologists and psychiatrists, etc. What does everyone think about that? I miss the chat interaction. Stop talking so fast, everyone. I want to read what you're saying. I think there are some things that the web page can do to try to sort of short circuit the dopamine cycle of playing. So I think people play chess and they see their rating going up, and then they win and they get the dopamine hit, and then they lose, and it's sort of a lottery effect where the wins will carry you for a long time even while you're losing. And I think something like hiding ratings is very helpful. It could be helpful. I don't know how helpful. It could be helpful. In your settings, you will see a setting that turns off ratings on the entire site. You will not see your rating. You will not see others' ratings. You won't see them on your profile. You won't see them on game pages, etc. And for me, that is fantastic. I have that turned on my account, and I enjoy chess so much more. I just sit down and play the game. I don't have any ideas about I'm supposed to win or I'm supposed to lose or I played well or I played badly. I just play the game and I enjoy it, and then it's over, which is fantastic for me. If I turn off ratings, what am I supposed to base my entire sense of self on? Well, that's easy. You should base it on money, which is a lot better than chess ratings to base your self-worth on. Question number 2. This is always funny. Is the other chess website's verified system a step in the right direction to regulate cheating? If so, should Lichess make it available for everyone? First of all, you can say chess.com. No one here cares. I understand that some websites will fall over themselves and send the SWAT team to your house if you mention another chess website. We are not one of them. You can all say chess.com. You can say chess24. You can say any other chess website you like. We will not give anyone the Voldemort treatment or the Beetlejuice treatment. Both of those references are probably too dated. Wow. Can I get a quick survey in the chat? I need to know, yay or nay. Do you know who Voldemort is? Did you get the reference? Do you know who Beetlejuice is? Did you get the reference? They are two fictional characters who were not to be named for different reasons. Maybe the same reasons. I don't know. It's been a while since I saw Beetlejuice. Oh, there's also a question. Let's get to the question. So, should Lichess have verified accounts? Let me explain what verified accounts are, as far as I understand them. So chess.com has verified accounts where you pay $10 or $15 a year or something, and they verify your identity through some means, maybe your credit card or IDs or something. And then, as I understand it, the idea is that people will be less likely to cheat with their real name attached to an account. So let's discuss this idea. First of all, people will still cheat with their name attached to their account. It happens all the time. It happens probably hundreds of times a day. So if your idea is that people won't cheat when their real name is attached to your account, that is just incorrect. I'm sorry. The second point, the second idea is I suppose people think you can't just make another account. Well, I also don't think that is so clear-cut. How much does it stop people from cheating? I could really only speculate. I'm not sure that there's much of an effect, but there could be. It's not crazy to say that there could be effect that people cheat less when their name is attached to their account, which would have some value, beyond, you wouldn't have to stop it in its tracks. The thing that bothers me about the verified idea is that it monetizes something that has previously been free. And my instincts really rebel against this, and I really fear the day when the chess culture thinks that the only real blitz is the kind that you have to pay for. Because that's going to cut certain people off from chess, and it's going to make the pie a lot smaller. It's going to make the community a lot smaller. And I personally would not want Lichess to be connected with anything like that. I don't think that it's helpful. Does that answer the question? I think it does. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, this is Kalpesh Kutia. Hope I said that right. My question is, my network is good. Still, I face ping issues while I'm playing from India. Can you people make improvements on it? Well, the page that I would recommend you look at, is it here? Oh, I have to type in a URL. One moment. One moment. Appreciate your patience. All right. So, this page is lichess.org/lag. And if you are having any latency issues, if you are having any connection issues, the first thing I would do is come look at this page. It's pretty self-explanatory. There are two factors, two numbers that cause your signals to get to Lichess slightly slower than you can produce them. The first is server lag, which is how long the server takes to deal with things. And the second is network lag. So server lag is almost always very close to zero. Occasionally there are server issues or there are problems and server lag goes up. It is incredibly uncommon, and it is very, very unlikely to be causing any connection issues you're having. But sometimes. And if it is, you will see it here. Most lag is network lag. It is lag caused because I am in the United States and the Lichess servers are in France, and there is significant space between those 2 points, and electromagnetic radiation travels that distance very quickly, but not instantly. And that is the delay. I think a lot of people that have connection problems and are not sure why they're having connection problems often just don't understand how connections work. You will have conversations with people where they say, my connection is great, but I can't, the connection to Lichess is slow. Well, it doesn't sound like your connection is great. And they think their connection is great for reasons that are not sufficient. People will order the highest tier service from their ISP. I ordered the super quintuple platinum service from my ISP. There's no way that I could have any connection issues. I'm sorry, that's not how it works. You could still have connection issues. It could be your ISP. It could be other things as well. Something else that people will say, they're on their phone and they see 5 bars. I do not have connection issue because I have 5 bars. Those 5 bars describe your phone's connection to the cell tower. You can still have internet problems even with 5 bars. Is 5 the maximum? Used to be. I thought it was 5, but does it only go to 4 bars? Well, CR fanatic, maybe your cheapo phone only goes to 4 bars, but my quintuple platinum XL phone goes to 5. So I know that I'll never have any network issues, ever. Another thing that you will see happen is people will say, I know I have a good connection because I was using this other service, and that service was working well, internet service, and Lichess was not. So I remember at one point there was a online tournament. Maybe it was the Olympiad, I'm not sure. And there was controversy because one of the players was having connection issues, and maybe they lost the game. I'm forgetting details. Maybe they lost the game because of connection issues. And the inquest began immediately to see if the connection issues were caused by the computer or the software or the website servers, etc., etc., etc. And the evidence they offered was, well, I was on Skype, and my Skype connection was working well, and my chess website connection was not working well, so the chess website must be broken. Again, that is just not how things work. It is perfectly possible to have an excellent connection to one part of the internet and a poor connection to another part of the internet. There is not one wire that just goes around to every website that you traverse no matter where you're going. There are lots of different wires. The internet uses a multi-wire system. Right, tubes. I'm sorry. Did I say wires? I meant tubes. There are a large number of tubes used to keep the internet going, as many as 17 tubes at last count. Let's do another question. Oh, this is a good one. What was the idea behind hiding game completion percentage? So first of all, let me explain what this refers to. If you go to a profile page, let's go to mine so we can examine. Oh no, I'm going to see ratings because it's a... don't show me the ratings. Over here, where I say that I'm not Bobby Fischer's nephew, there used to be a statistic that was called game completion percentage. And it was basically, in the last 20 games, how many games have you aborted without playing? And it may have also counted how many games you left without resigning. We took it down because it is a little bit shamey. It's a little bit shamey. This is what I mean by shamey. On Lichess, you are not allowed to shame other players. You're not allowed to accuse them of cheating or accuse them of any other malfeasance because it would just lead to ugly conversations. It's not the correct way to deal with that sort of thing. The correct way to deal with that is to send a report, right? Not to accuse them in the town square. J'accuse. No, don't do that. Just file a report. That's the correct system. That will send the issue to someone who can do something about it, right? So what was happening with game completion percentage is that people were taking it way more seriously than we realized, and they were doing things like refusing to play people without a pristine game completion percentage. They would see somebody, and it'd be like, 90%? No, sir. Not playing them. And that was not the intended use of game completion percentage. I'm not sure what the intended use was, but it's not that. So if a statistic is causing problems like that, and causing strife, and turning brother against brother, we decided it was best to just not show it. It doesn't really... There's nothing you can really do that's useful with that information other than decide you're not playing them. And again, that's not the way to deal with the problem. If a person is aborting too many games or they're leaving games without resigning, we should deal with it, right? We should, and I think we do. There's an automated system that if you abort too many games, it gives slowly accelerating play bans. You get warnings first, and then you... I think the first play ban is 10 minutes, and then it slowly accelerates. So if you ever hear a person complaining, and they say, I was play banned for 2 days for aborting one game, this is ridiculous. That is not true. You don't, the first ban is not 2 days. You have to do it quite a bit to get 2 days. Let's see. Does that answer the question? I think it does. I think it does. Where were we? Are there any plans to allow direct input to Lichess studies using an interface such as SquareOff Pro or other electronic chessboards? So for people that are not familiar with electronic chessboards, you could probably sort of guess what they are. They're a chessboard. They have pieces. When you move the piece on the chessboard, the piece on Lichess or chess.com or wherever else it connects to also plays in the game, and you can play an internet game on a real board. This person is asking if it could be used for study input. It could be used for study input, but a couple of things would need to happen. And the harder one of the two would have to be done by SquareOff. First thing would have to happen, there would have to be an API to do that. I am not sure how difficult that would be to implement, but you could at least ask for it. Somebody could go to the GitHub page and request it in an issue. The second thing that would need to happen is that SquareOff would need to implement that in their software. And again, I'm even more ignorant of how difficult that would be. So I would guess we would hesitate to make the API unless like SquareOff or DGT or some e-board manufacturer asks for it. Maybe not. I don't know if that's true. Yeah, basically when we make new APIs, we want to know that they're going to be used. That's the bar for implementing things. Is this useful? Will it be used? Or is it just going to sit there and have to be maintained and implemented forever and no one uses it? Which does happen sometimes, unfortunately. Ugh, let me get a drink of water. What's the next question here? What do we have? Is there any, is there ever a plan to have online titles? Many will never play OTB, and your platform is their tournament board. Any plans to have Lichess, Master, IM, and GM? Well, we had online titles quite a long time ago now that were called Lichess Master. And if you're very fortunate, you may even see Lichess Masters still in the wild. There are not many left. Lichess Master is far and away the most exclusive title on Lichess. There are way more GMs than Lichess Masters on Lichess because we haven't given one out in years and years and years. I am personally not very excited about implementing online titles on Lichess again. But it could happen. You know, I'm not the emperor of Lichess. Other people might disagree. Personally, I don't love the idea. FIDE does something along those lines that I don't care for because FIDE has online titles from their website where you get a certain rating on their website and it gives you a title. And I feel like it takes advantage of people who are new to the game and do not have a good understanding of how titles work. Basically, they don't understand that these aren't real titles, or they won't be seen as real titles by the community. So we get emails from people all the time who say, I am a online FIDE arena master. I would like to play in titled arenas. May I put that on my Lichess profile? And I feel very bad, and I have to answer, no, I'm sorry. We don't verify those titles. In fact, chess.com also doesn't verify those titles. ICC does not. No one verifies those titles. The chess world does not see them as real titles. They see them as thoroughly fake. The money you have spent was not spent well. That you were taken advantage of. I usually don't say all that. You know, maybe not necessary, but that's how I see it. Now, Lichess wouldn't. If we did online titles, we wouldn't charge for it. But I still don't love the idea. I mean, titles are titles. We can decide that there's a Lichess Master title, but we can't make the larger chess culture respect it like a real title. Chat's funny. You guys in chat can be very funny sometimes. What was the requirement for LM? I think it was 2,300 and different rating categories. It's been so long. Lichess Emperor title? No, I already have that, and I'm not giving it away. Next question. Pre-moves. When will there ever be more than one pre-move available? Probably not anytime soon. Lichess does not have multiple pre-moves, and the reason we don't have it is not because we never got around to implementing it. We don't have it because we don't want to implement it right now. Multiple pre-moves changes the game, right? It makes the game different, which means it makes certain players better and certain players worse. Certain players benefit from this, certain players benefit less, and so on and so forth. In my opinion, and I am not a super, bullet player, so my opinion could just be wrong, but it is still my opinion, is that multiple pre-moves lowers the skill ceiling. If you are a player like, I don't know, Andrew Tang, who is very, 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 very fast with your mouse, and you can get in moves in a tenth of a second because of your incredible level of skill, that skill is negated somewhat, at least somewhat, probably not entirely. That skill is negated by a system that allows you to chain 10 pre-moves together. That is only my opinion. I would be interested to see what the people in chat think. What does everybody here think about multiple pre-moves? The opinion I expressed is hardly rigorously proven, but I still have it. Okay, people are vaguely with me in chat. If you if you're watching the VOD later, you might be sort of confused by these moments in the stream where I stop talking. I'm reading chat for a moment. Okay. Okay. Let's read another question. Does Lichess approve of eating the rich? Well, Lichess is a website and thus doesn't have many opinions on anything. But me personally, yes, I approve highly. I recommend everyone get their recommended 4 servings of the rich every day as part of a balanced, healthy diet. Would it be possible to restructure the front page to give slots to all streamers who apply, so everyone could stream from the front page at some point? So let me explain what this refers to. So on the Lichess homepage, in the upper left-hand corner, there are usually a number of streams, YouTube streams and Twitch streams, linked right here. All right. Not everyone who makes a Lichess streamer page will get linked up there. In fact, the percentage of people that get linked is quite small. The reason that we limit it, and the reason why we probably can't ever let everybody up there, is because the spots are limited. There is right now a maximum of 5 slots or 5 streams that can appear on the homepage, which is raised during events like Streamers Arenas or Titled Arenas, but is usually at 5. In our opinion, if we put 100 streamers up there, it would significantly degrade the effectiveness of the feature, right? The point of the feature is for users to discover streams that they would have wanted to discover, and also for streams to help promote themselves a bit. And if we put 100 streams up there in the left-hand corner, 99% of users will not read all 100, right? They will just not look at it. They will. When you put too much of information somewhere at a level where no one's going to read, you are training the users that they don't need to look at that part of the page. That doesn't exist. That is just endless, meaningless spam, and it's not even there. Users will just literally just not see it. It just doesn't appear to them because their brain learns nothing to see there. The interesting stuff is over here. So I think we need to keep the streams at a low level so that they can have effectiveness, which unfortunately means we have to decide who gets to be on the front page and who doesn't, and it's always going to be more people that don't than do. Unfortunately, I would 100% listen to suggestions on a better system. And I would also listen to things we can do to help streamers, including the ones that are on the front page. but I don't think that more front page links is the way. Okay, let's do another question. Would you consider rewriting the back end in Haskell? Probably not. I think that sounds like a lot of work. Nope, I don't think we'll be doing that. Why did I lose on time? Both touch 0.0. So this person has a screenshot of their game with zeros on both sides. It's difficult to say for sure without having the game in front of me, but my first guess is that one side or the other actually does have time left, but it is past the second decimal point and thus is not displayed. I would go look at the game page to verify that. If I weren't doing a live stream right now, and we have to keep things moving. Can @Julia Rios fix your board theme colors? Absolutely, absolutely. How? Well, it's very simple. The page is open source. You just go on over there and dig in. Just get right to it. Mrs. Rios can get right to work. I 100% approve. On a more serious note, in the Lichess team, I think the biggest like thing that we're lacking or we have the least of is probably design. So we have a lot of people working for the website. There's probably like 100 people working for the website on this or that or different things. We have people that do content, that set up broadcasts so you can watch live events. We have people to write blog posts. We have developers. We have translators. We have people to take support requests. We have moderators. We have so many moderators working so hard. What we have less of is design people, the art people, to draw things and design things. So if you are such a person, get in touch. You may be able to help us. Next question. Will Lichess enable create move repetition training in studies? Well, there already is something along those lines, but it might it might not fit exactly into what this person is asking about. What we have is called interactive training chapters, I believe. I'm drawing a blank on the name. Basically, when you make a study, let's see if I can pull one up. When you make a study, are any of these? Oh, I believe these are. Yes. You get a study like this, and the study will prompt you for what the correct move is. And if you play the correct move, it will say, good job, that's the correct move. And if you play the wrong move, it will say, no, I'm sorry, that's not it. And so on and so forth. Whether this qualifies as, what did the person say? Move repetition training. I'm not sure if that qualifies, because I think he may be imagining something like Chessable, where you just, where it's like tracked, and maybe it gives you a random chapter. We don't have anything like that. But, I don't know. Maybe it qualifies. I hope that answers the question. I'm sorry. That was quite a vague answer. Quite a wishy-washy answer, but I was trying to touch on all the points. Will creating and using alternate layouts of Lichess, like a TUI version of Lichess, be considered cheating? If not, is there any API documentation on it? Well, any extension or extra software you use on the Lichess website is fine as long as it does not use or manipulate move input. If it is purely aesthetic, it is perfectly fine. And in fact, there are many such extensions that will change the look of Lichess. There's a very popular one called Prettier Lichess. There's a million different CSS user styles you can get on various websites. And they're all fine because they don't really change anything about how Lichess works. They just change how it looks. They put certain elements in different places, or it changes colors, or it makes things bigger or smaller, and that is all fine. If you're using an extension that makes move input or somehow manipulates it or manipulates the WebSocket, then we have a problem with you. Then you may get banned. But if you're just changing how things look, there is no problem. Oh, well, this is a famous person's question. I need to take I need to take this one seriously. Okay, here we go. International Master John Bartholomew says, "Can you make the site light mode only again?" Well, I suppose I have to disagree with the premise. The site was never light mode only. There has always been a light mode or a dark mode. There's always been both modes. What changed is that new users now get dark mode by default, which of course they can immediately change to light mode and then change back to dark mode once they realize the terrible mistake they've made. Oh, the light mode, dark mode arguments are very funny. I still remember a Magnus Lichess stream. May have been his first one. I'm not sure. Where Magnus Carlsen is the chess world champion, is playing Blitz, and we're all watching. We're lucky to be able to watch, and all anybody in the chat could talk about was him using light mode. Can I defend light mode a bit? I kind of want to grab the camera and just take you out into my backyard and show you. Light mode is necessary, people. Light mode has to exist. I will sometimes take my laptop out into the backyard and sit in the fresh air and listen to the birds sing and do my work on the laptop right there. And because of the sun, you really, 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 really need light mode. Okay, let's go to the next one. Facebook questions. We have a Facebook page. If Richard Stallman is watching, I'm very sorry that we have a Facebook page. We're very, very sorry. Not sorry enough to take it down, but somewhat sorry to a certain extent. I guess he wouldn't approve of any of it. He wouldn't approve of Twitter either. Yeah, the free software people don't approve of these things. I'm sorry, free software people. Let's read the questions. Patrick Wyote, how many daily active users and monthly active users does Lichess have? Is there a simple way of downloading your entire Master Games database? Well, we do not track, or I'm not aware of any tracking for daily active users. We do track things like games played, and there are roughly 5 million games played in the average day on Lichess. And if you are curious how that compares to previous moments in time, I would go to the database page. And the database page has every game played, every rated game played on Lichess. And they're by month, and you can see the number of games, and that gives you a good idea of activity level. Somebody make a Lichess Mastodon page. What was the second one? Is there a simple way of downloading your entire Masters game database? No. And I don't think you can download it from the Git page either, because it's not... I mean, you could, but it's not in... Maybe you couldn't. I'm not sure. It may not be on Git, and it may, even if it is, it may not be stored in a format that you will find easy to use. So sorry about that one. Here's an easy question to answer. Sunshine Chess Academy. As a school teacher who runs a sizable class program, it would be great if I could have multiple student accounts under my email with different passwords assigned by me. Also, one of my students has forgotten their password. Their parents only have one of me, blah, blah, blah. So, we have a feature just for this. I love these questions because sometimes I have to give wishy-washy answers, or I have to sort of hem and haw and I don't know, kind of. This one's easy. We have a feature for that. It is called Leachates question. Planted question. I'm being accused of planting questions. It's a good idea. I should have planted questions. Anyway, it is over here. I don't see it because I'm not logged in right now, but over here you will see under Learn. If you are logged in, you will see a feature called Classes. Classes are very simple. You can make accounts and then distribute those accounts to your students. You will be able to reset the password. You will fundamentally control the account. You can see what the account does. It counts up the number of games that are played and rating change and puzzles, etc., etc. You can make a nice little spreadsheet of all the people in the class. So you make all these accounts for your class or for your chess club. You write down the login details on little cards. You hand them out to the kids. They can take those cards home. You can also give those cards to the parents, which means that the parents are the ones that have control of the account. Great feature. What's next? Hi, is it possible to download all games of a player who closed his account at once? If yes, how? It is possible to find those games, but it is not simple. The way the API currently works, it obscures people's games if they close their account, which we think is closer to what users would expect closing an account to do. Those games still exist in the big database of all games, but you would have to go find them. So the answer is no. There is a way, it's not an easy way. I don't know, maybe it's easy for you. I guess easy is in the eye of the beholder. Let's get to the forum. There are so many questions in the forum. I was scared that we wouldn't get enough questions, and I woke up this morning and there were 25 pages of questions. So let's dig in, I guess. Oh, someone suggests Opening Tree. Opening Tree also uses the API, so I'm not sure if that will work either. Opening Tree doesn't, I mean, as far as I understand Opening Tree working, it doesn't like have the games saved on their servers. It searches for the games locally on your computer with the API, which means you still won't get them. But I don't know. Abu Major? Not sure. My question is, why are there only 7 messages per week in Teams? I have a big team and my team is very active, but now I only have 7 messages per week and I can't call my team players. So let me explain what this refers to and then I will answer the question. So, Lichess teams are a very powerful tool for organizing communities, for promoting things, for making tournaments, and so on and so forth. One of the more useful tools that every team has is that if you are a team leader, on the team page, you will see a button that says PM All, and you can send a private message to every member of the team at once. So of course, the use for this is that if you have a tournament coming up, you send out the private message to all accounts. Tournament on Friday, guys, at 5 o'clock. Don't miss it. Be there or be square. Or, you know, for any other events you might do. This is a very, very, very useful promotional tool. We recently limited, wasn't so recently, but we limited the tool to 7 uses every week. So you can only use it 7 times in a 7-day period. And after that, it will stop functioning. I don't think we're going to change that anytime soon. We're probably more likely to move it down than to move it up. And it has to do with how the feature works. It's very similar to what I was saying earlier about streamers, right? So users show up at Lichess. They want to play some chess games. They want to do chess things. Up in the upper right-hand corner is their inbox where all these messages come to. If there is 1 or 2 or 3 messages, they will read them. If there are 100 messages, they will not read them. Nobody reads all 100 messages, right? They will just ignore that and go play a blitz game. So when you put too many messages in that inbox, you are, again, training the users to ignore it. You are training the users that it is endless, meaningless spam. There's no reason for your eyes to ever wander over there. So if you had a team before the limits and you were sending out 3 messages a day, 21 a week, I have no doubt that in the micro sense, it was very effective. I'm sure that it increased attendance to tournaments and increased attendance to other events, etc. But you were very much, in my opinion, killing the golden calf, right? You were, for a small amount of effectiveness, you were killing the feature overall. So we really have to keep the number of inbox messages down, because we're just protecting the feature for everyone, including you. I hope that answer makes sense. Yeah. All right. What do you guys think about that? Am I correct in my philosophy of not hitting users with endless, meaningless spam? I mean, I know I'm right, but I want to see if you can see how right I am. That's the important bit. How many inbox messages do people usually have when they log into Lichess? I'm curious. What's the average? 0, none. That's sad. I had like 15 when I logged in today because, of course, everybody sent questions to my inbox, violating what were very clear instructions. Come on, people. Don't send me private messages. And, of course, I will not be answering any of those questions because my profile very clearly says that I do not respond to random people asking questions. So I have to be a man of my word and do what I said I'd do. Next question. Is Lichess able to see the chat between two players? Yes. Let me explain how this works. And all of this is spelled out very clearly in our privacy policy, which is linked in the terms of service if you're interested in seeing it. All communications on Lichess can be seen by moderators, but it is not simple to do. All right. First of all, there are different tiers of people that work at Lichess, and they have different responsibilities, and they work in different areas. Not all of them can see communications. The only people that can see communications are people that work in that area that might have to do moderation, right? So if a person is only, writing blog posts, or if they're only doing development, or if they're only in some other area, they do not have the ability to see communication because they don't need to. The other thing is that you have to click through to see it, right? So you don't open up the mod zone and immediately see every word everyone has said, because you might be using that mod zone to investigate a cheat report. You might be investigating something else. So there's no reason for you to see communications. It's not appropriate for you to be looking at them yet because you don't need to, right? You need to click on a button that says comms to see the comms. And even then, you don't see everything. You see game chats, and you have to click through to see private messages, because whatever report that you might be dealing with as a moderator might only include game chats and not private messages, so you don't need to see that. The other thing that happens, every time a Lichess moderator opens the comms of a user, that is logged. And it is well understood in the Lichess team that it is not correct to go looking at people's private communications for frivolous reasons. That is simply not done. Anyone caught doing it would be in significant trouble, let's say, right? And the reason we see your private communications is very simply because we have to. Like there's just no way around it. We have to in order to police them. For example, we get, once in a while, we get these bots that will try to make a bunch of accounts, and they send links to a gazillion users, right? They want to drive traffic to these links or whatever purpose their bot has. If we can't see your communication, we have no way of policing that, right? If every Lichess PM is like, Telegram P2P, we never see it, then how could we ever stop these bots? How do we ever know that anyone was doing it? So the correct solution in my mind is to be able to see user communication, but have it highly protected and only used in appropriate ways. I recently got harassed by someone who's chat banned already. I was hoping for their account to be... Well, they shouldn't be able to harass you if they're chat banned. One moment. All right, just scrolling through chat a bit to see what people are saying. All right, next question. Oh boy, the time is flying. We're already like hour in or something. Oh, I wanted to answer this one. I have 3 questions from Chaotic99. Why don't Lichess, why doesn't Lichess post how many cheaters you catch a month? I would love to read some cheat statistics. That's not a bad idea, actually. An idea that's been bouncing around my head that I really like, that I will probably act on before too long, is I want to do a blog post about the Lichess moderator team and how they work, because the majority of people who work for Lichess are moderators. That makes up most of the team, because moderating a site with millions of users is a lot of work. And our mods work very, very hard. And not only do they work very hard, they are very, very smart. The Lichess mod team includes numerous titled players, up to IM. I'm optimistic we'll have a GM soon, but we'll see. And it includes people with advanced degrees in mathematics and advanced degrees in statistics or in computer science. And the site does not exist without all of their hard work. And I don't think people are necessarily clued into this. And in fact, it sometimes causes problems for me, because I get a little bit upset with some of the comments we see in public from people who frankly just don't know what they're talking about. And it's okay to not know what you're talking about. There are plenty of subjects that I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to that subject, and even subjects that I may talk about that I don't know what I'm talking about. But you see people say things like, well, all you have to do is just don't play every move from the engine and they'll never catch you. From what I've described of the team, does that sound like it's true? Right? With people with advanced degrees and titled players, and there's 50 of them and they've been working for years and years. Do you think maybe it has occurred to them the same thing that occurred to you? Okay, anyway, I'm going to take a deep breath. Calm down. It's okay. What's the next question? If Lichess has more donations than cost, how is that surplus administered? P.S. I'm ashamed of not being a patron. First of all, don't be ashamed of not being a patron. Nobody has to be. It's not mandatory. That's the idea of the whole site, right? The people that pay, pay. The people that can't pay, we're happy to help you out. Don't be ashamed. What happens to extra money? Well, it goes in our bank account. I don't know how to answer that question any more directly. We spend the money that's in our budget, which is public. You can go see it. We spend that money from our bank account. If we don't spend it, it stays in the bank account. Is there anything I'm missing? I feel like I'm missing the point of the question. Somebody help me out. Oh, I see a question in chat that I want to answer. I was thinking about bringing this up anyway. All right, I'm going to break protocol and I'm going to answer a question that's in chat. Okay, so in chat, Peon198. Lichess hosted a tournament sponsored by Chessable not long ago. Do you see any issue with this? Can you explain Lichess's own policies related to ads and branding on the website? This is a big question, and there is a lot to discuss here. I'm not sure where to start. Let's just dive in. So, Lichess famously has no ads, and you look at the page right here, you do not see any ads, but you sort of do. If you are going to take a strict view of what an ad is, there are absolutely ads. Those streamers that I highlighted up there, most of those are for-profit ventures, and when we put the link on the homepage, people find the stream, they get more viewers, they get more subscribers and donations. You could call that an ad. I would not be offended if you called that an ad. I guess it is. We also have coach pages. Right here. Right? It helps people find coaches. Again, it would not be crazy to call this an ad, would it? These are people who are working as coaches, trying to make money. They're looking for customers. Lichess helps them out. The discussion of whether or not something is an ad is not especially interesting to me, right? The discussion that I think we should be having is whether or not these things serve the user, whether or not it makes Lichess a better website or a worse website. I believe personally that linking streams makes Lichess a better website, a more useful website. I think coaches' pages do the same thing, right? I think there are other features. Teams, the PM all button I was mentioning is often used for commercial purposes. And that's okay with me as well, right? So the event that the person was talking about, and there's been 3 or 4 of them, I'm not sure exactly. Chessable runs a prize tournament, has run a few, and the prize tournament is fairly simple. Sometimes they play from a set position, sometimes they play from the starting position, and they give prizes, right? They have a $1,000 prize fund for every event, which of course attracts lots of grandmasters and prominent players, which is quite a show for our users. Lichess assists in these efforts by telling people about the tournament. So in the hours leading up to the tournament, over here on the left, where you see these buttons, where you see my stream, you will see a button for the Chessable tournament, which helps people find the tournament. Again, you can call that an ad if you want. My question, and I will ask the chat directly, you can tell me yes or no, does having that button and bringing people to the tournament so that professional players get paid to play, so that Lichess users can see a cool tournament with strong players playing, does that button make Lichess a better or worse website? My opinion is that it makes it a better website. It gives a cool event that wouldn't otherwise exist. And if all that Chessable wants in return is to name the tournament after themselves, I find it difficult to get too upset about that. What do you think, chat? Tell me what you think. All right, I think people are on my side, mostly. Yeah, Natso mentions that we don't get paid. Yes, Chessable does not pay us for the privilege. And in fact, we don't take money from Chessable, and we wouldn't take money from anybody for those purposes. If we promote something, it's because we think that users would want it to be promoted to them, that we are being helpful in promoting it. We do not take money to promote things, and that principle is quite ironclad. That is going to be a difficult one to talk us into doing. All right? The reason that we don't, or the ads that Lichess doesn't have, the specific ones that it refers to are like banner ads. You go to a website, a third of the screen or some ridiculous percentage has, hemorrhoid pills or something, and that's taking up all of the space that could be chess pieces. That sort of thing will never, ever, ever happen on Lichess. It is, in my opinion, undeniable that makes the website worse, that we are making the website significantly worse for money. That sort of deal does not interest us, and I would predict that it will never interest us. Numeroid pills. Oh, the originator of the question is on my side now. That's great. Thank you, Peon198. I convinced Peon198. I'm proud of myself. Yay. Victory for NoJoke. Somebody says, are you saying this whole time I have to suffer hemorrhoids because you guys won't put the hemorrhoid ads on your site? Maybe we need something similar to the coach's pages for hemorrhoid pills. Can you cure hemorrhoids with pills? I don't know. Okay, let's stop talking about this. Do we have more questions? What? I don't understand. I need a bit more water. One moment. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment. I'm going to take a sip. Let's see. Man, 25 pages. Can you make it so that when somebody comments on a blog, it gets into the forum section? I don't entirely follow that question. Okay, I'm guessing a bit. So there are two types of blogs on Lichess. There are what we call big blogs and baby blogs. So big blogs are the official Lichess blogs, written by handsome and charming gentlemen. And these are the big ones that get a notification in your timeline and so on and so forth for all users. User blogs are ones made by individual users, these ones. And they now have a comment section, right? If you turn it on. So you do this and you go to a comment section. That comment section is a forum in the same way that all the other forums are a forum. However, there is no landing page for that forum. So the larger forum with all of those threads is not linked on the forum page, right? If you go to the forum page, you won't see anything for user blogs. That is on purpose because there are a crazy number of user blogs created every day. And if there was a central landing page for that forum, it would have a gajillion threads. It would not be very readable. It would not be a very good page. That is not how we want people to discover those threads. Let's see. More questions. So we have related questions here. Number one, we have a person asking for Bughouse. And number two, we have a person asking about how do you make feature requests. So let's take these two questions together. Feature requests are when you ask for something new on a website, right? If something is broken, that's a bug, right? If we intended the website to do something and it doesn't do it or doesn't do it well, that is a bug because it is going against what we intended. If there is something that you, not the person who makes the website, if there's something that you want from the website that it doesn't do now that you would like it to do in the future, that is a feature request. When people make feature requests, I think that they don't understand what they're asking for. And they don't understand how it works, which is fine because I didn't understand any of that until somebody taught me. So let's see if I can teach the public. Okay? There will be we have conversations with the public that can seem very confusing to them. Someone will show up in the Discord and they will say, hey, what do you think about this feature? What if we did this? What if the pieces could do this? And the answer they receive is something along the lines of, yeah, sure, that could be good. And then the person who's asking for it is sort of waiting for the next step. Okay, if that's good, then when are you going to have it? Like, is it going to be there tomorrow, next week, next month? If it's good, then go put it on the website. That is not how things work. There is an infinite number of things that would be useful to put on Lichess, and there is not an infinite number of people to build those things and to maintain those things. So there needs to be some sort of filter, right? When we implement a new feature, we are doing the math in our head, and we are comparing how useful that feature would be to how much work it is to build and maintain, and we want to see if it's worth it, right? Every feature needs to be maintained. It needs to be worked on constantly and refactored and fixed bugs and changing things. And the amount of work you put in maintaining some part of a website will always be way more than the amount of work it took you to create it in the first place. So what happens is if you make too many features in your software, you will be spending all of your time maintaining those features instead of making new ones. So you're it's sort of like a hidden cost that you're stealing from future features. All of the previous ones steal from future features. I hope that makes sense. So let's examine Bughouse. Let's examine Bughouse along those lines. How useful would Bughouse be? How many people would play Bughouse? Well, a lot. I don't think it would immediately be the the biggest game on the site, but a decent amount, at least. It's popular on other websites, so that's good evidence that there's some player base. So that's the one thing. So on a scale of 1 to 10 of how good, I don't know, 4 or 5, whatever. Good, reasonable. Now, let's talk about maintaining it. Maintaining it is not a 5. Maintaining it is a much higher number because of the complexity. Some new features can be implemented that sort of already use existing infrastructure, and it's very easy to implement it because you're not really making much that's new. Bughouse would make a lot that's new. For example, every game on Lichess right now is played between 2 players. There are no games that take 4 players. We would have to invent a totally new interface, totally new systems for 4 players. The Seek system, the system where you find a game, also designed for 2 players. We need to do something new for that. The rating system is designed for 1 player's rating to go up, the other to go down. We have to design something there, right? The analysis page after the game is over, etc., etc., etc. We need new stuff for all of that. So of the 2 measures, usefulness, Bughouse grades out fairly well. Not amazing, but fairly well. And on complexity and maintenance costs, it scores very poorly, which is why we have not implemented Bughouse. I would predict that in the near future it won't be implemented, but I don't think it's impossible. I'm not going to sit here and say we will never, ever, ever have Bughouse. I will say that we will never, ever, ever have banner ads. That one's easy. We will never, ever, ever have banner ads. Bughouse, I'm not optimistic, but it's not nearly as crazy as banner ads. In the past, I have been gloriously wrong about these things. And so if you're a fan of Bughouse, you can realistically hope that I'm gloriously wrong about this one too. For example, Swiss tournaments. Right up until we had Swiss tournaments, I would have predicted that we're not going to have Swiss tournaments. Swiss tournaments are also fairly complex, and we had Swiss tournaments before. There was Swiss Tournaments 1.0 on Lichess years ago, and we deprecated the feature. We pulled it because nobody played it. So Swiss tournaments had a proven record of failure, and they still came all the way back. So maybe there's hope for Bughouse. I don't think so, but maybe. What does everybody think about that? If you do 4-player chess, then doing N+1 player chess in the future will be trivial. I hadn't considered that. We need to begin our path to 17-player chess with the baby steps of Bughouse. Let's see what else we got. Please tell me if the multiverse exists. Well, I don't know that one, buddy. I'm sorry. Why aren't bots allowed to chat with other players? This is quoting a previous question, but I'll answer it anyway. Why can't bot accounts chat? Well, it's just not the intended use case for bots. Bots are supposed to play chess with other users using a bot. We don't want them used to like spam other users. We don't want them used as a workaround to get in like mass private message things. And we don't want them to be used as like a regular account that has purple bot letters on it. If you want to chat with people, use a regular account. That's what regular accounts are for. If you want to make a bot account, then you make a bot account. Let's see. We talked about arena titles earlier. I already answered that one. Maybe I can find something better in Twitch chat or YouTube chat. My question is checking opening database considered as cheating in online correspondence chess? That should be fine. Lots of questions about. Does anybody have a question in chat? That's what I'm going to do. I think it's a little easier to take questions from chat. Twitch or YouTube chat, hit me with some questions. I'll take them from the peanut gallery now. Lichess is an open source and nonprofit website. What does that mean in practice? How does it show in your everyday life? Well, I'm not a developer, so it doesn't. I mean, well, it doesn't directly affect me. It certainly indirectly affects me. Being open source makes our code a lot easier to create and to maintain, because anyone can just wander in and get to work, and that in fact happens all the time. People somehow discover the website, they discover, the developer Discord, and they say, well, I'm a developer, maybe I would start to like to get into things and I'd like to build XYZ, and they just get to work. And if you are a business that uses closed source software, probably your greatest expense is paying for developers. Those people get paid very well. Lichess gets a great deal on development because we are a charity. It's only possible because we are a charity and people want to help a charity, and because it's open source. If the barrier for working on the code is that we have to let you see it, some strange person we've never seen before shows up, can we see your super secret proprietary code? No, I don't know. I don't know if we can trust this guy. But not Lichess, it doesn't work like that. We just, absolutely anybody can walk up and see the entire code base and try to fix things or try to build things if they want. What else do we have? What's the reason for the shorter time controls in recent marathons? I'm not sure if there's any consistent cycle where we do this time control and that time control and that time control. We try to give a mix of the most popular time controls. The most popular time controls are, in no particular order, 3 plus 2, 3 plus 0, 5 plus 0, and 1 plus 0. And that right there is probably 80% of games or something on Lichess. Those are the big boys. So those are the time controls that we use in marathons. How many languages is Lichess available in? A lot. You can see them all here. Hold on. Wait, where is it? Here. All of these. Oh boy, that's a lot. How does Lichess pay their employees? With money. Not with crypto. Only in legal tender. Typically US dollars or euros. Although we will pay whatever we have to. The local currencies are fine too. Can you exclude speed games from the Masters database or make it optional to filter them out? Okay, so that is like the way that the individual player database works, but for the master player? We could. I don't know how popular a feature request that is, but of course it's possible. Are you paid by Lichess? Yes. I am an official paid employee and all that. Why did Lichess make non-titled players simuls virtually impossible to see? It's a lot like the issue with streamers on the homepage and with spamming the inbox. With any feature that's sort of showing some kind of data to users, you don't want to show them a lot more than they would like to see, because their eyes glaze over and they find something else to do. So that is true of simuls as well, which means we need some way of limiting what simuls are shown on the simul page, and the quick and dirty and easy filter is titled players. Delta Dude says, do you see me? I do. Well, I see your words. Written. You personally, I cannot see. Why do the French charge you so much in tax if you're a non-profit? Well, the way that French law works, and we do need to follow French law while paying French money to Frenchmen in France, is that a non-profit does not pay tax on their own earnings, revenue, whatever you want to call it, but they still pay payroll tax. So we have French employees, and we are required to pay their payroll taxes so that that money can pay for the social welfare state and their health care and maintaining the Eiffel Tower and nuclear weapons and whatever else the French government does. Mostly maintaining the Eiffel Tower. I think that's the most expensive thing. Oh, so many questions. Man, chat flies. Fire the French people. There are some fairly important Frenchmen on the Lichess team. That could be difficult. What? Why is there an option to either move a piece by dragging it or clicking it, but there's no option for castling using both methods at the same time? I'm going to eat a minute on this one. Using both methods at the same time. Nope, you lost me. I'm sorry. Have you considered adding knockout tournaments within teams? Yeah, I'm not in love with that feature, personally. If you learn how to use the API to make games, which is reasonably easy. Like I said, I'm not a developer and I can do it. I can. You just make API calls, which is relatively simple. If you know how to use the API to make games for other players, you can set up any sort of format for any tournament that you like. So you could do a knockout tournament, and you send an if you're the tournament director for a knockout tournament, you see who's playing. You say a player A versus player B. You hit some buttons. That game appears for player A and player B, and they begin playing. There's no, obviously no vanilla way within Lichess to do it right now. And I wouldn't predict there will be in the near future. Does that mean that Lichess owns the Eiffel Tower? Yes, that's correct. We own a small part of it that our taxes paid for. It belongs to all Frenchmen everywhere, including me. Okay. My friend Fontainebleau has explained. There's no option for castling having both messages turned on at the same time, so you can drag the king over the rook or move it 2 squares away. That's what I meant. Okay, yeah, I guess we could add that make a get issue. Let's see what happens. I will be honest, I've never heard that feature request before, but I can see why it would be useful. Somebody wrote NoJoke with JOQUE because I'm French. That's amazing. Why don't you use your face for the thumbnail? You're sexy. Well, I don't want to get views that way. You know, these streamers are all getting half naked to get views. I'm not one of those. What else do we have here? Can you play at Lichess with your keyboard? Probably not in the sense that you're asking. There was an extension called Keyboard that is now against the rules. You can play with the keyboard like playing blind, like entering the moves, like typing pawn to e4, enter. So if that's what you're asking about, then yes. Is Tebow still the big boss? Well, no, there is no big boss. Lichess is a French charity, and we have to follow all the French charity laws. French charities have to have a board of directors. I'm not sure exactly how many people. I think there has to be at least 3. So we have a board of directors with 3 people on it that in practice does not make any like day-to-day decisions. So there is a board, but the board is not like meeting every day to figure out strategies and what we're going to do about this or that, about that. Those decisions are made sort of by consensus by the team. So if there's a moderation issue and we have to decide, is this going to be illegal or legal? Are we going to ban this person or not ban them? It is discussed as a group and consensus is found. There is no boss of the moderators who comes in and swings their gavel and say, I declare you guilty. The conversation is over. And the other areas work roughly the same. So many questions. Skipping ahead. What's your plan for the next couple years? I don't know. I guess we'll just keep doing chess. It seems to work. We probably, it might be good to have more plans than we do, but we generally don't, what am I trying to say? We don't announce things. So I won't say that we don't have plans or like long-term plans, because that's not true. We do. But we will never tell you like we're going to have this feature a year from now. That will basically never happen. When you will discover we have a new feature when we have it, when you can go use it and see it for yourself, and not 1 second before. And that is because no one should announce features ever. That's a terrible idea. Why would any software ever announce a feature before it's ready? It's crazy. It's insanity. So, I mean, sometimes you sit down to build something, and in building it, you realize that it was a terrible idea. It's never going to happen. That this is just impossible. We need to give up right now. And if you have already told people that you're definitely doing it, you are in quite the pickle, aren't you? A much better system is to try to make the thing first, see if it works, see if it's a good idea, and then when you're sure about all that, then you can tell them, in my opinion. I feel so bad for video game developers, because these poor video game developers, they have to go out in public to like conferences. Everyone is watching. It's like YouTube videos with 1 million views. And they say, so long from now, 4 years from now, 4 years, we will have this video game, and it will have this feature, and all of the players will have hats, and they'll have guns, and they'll have jackets, and they'll drive cars, and they'll live in houses, and just everything. And if at any point in the next 4 years you discover that those things are difficult to implement, oh well, you already promised. And lightsabers, yes. Can you add guns to Lichess? Probably not. I experience pretty often that I miss features or links because elements do not show that they're clickable. Is it possible to make the interface more intuitive? This is a very good question. I think that there are, not sure what the word to describe it is. I think that things could be made more discoverable on the website. It's not that things aren't discoverable. You can just always make them more discoverable. A big change that we had not too long ago was with studies, where apparently, so if people aren't familiar with studies, let me show you one. This is a study. Let me see if I can find a regular study. Oh, there are no regular studies. Okay, whatever. So this is a study. You have a chess game. It can start from the beginning. It can start from a set position. And over here on the left, you have chapters. Okay, so chapter 1 is one game, chapter 2 is another game, and so on and so forth. We discovered that a significant number of our users were not aware that there were multiple chapters in a study. So they would read the first chapter and then say, that was good, and walk away, which is not ideal. And in fact, among study creators, for a time, the most popular kind of study to make, and the ones that were gathering the most attention, were interactive studies. And we believe that that is because interactive studies prompt you to go to the next chapter. When you finish one chapter, a button appears that says go to the next chapter. And so nowadays, that button is on all studies, right? Not just interactive studies, to make the extra chapters more discoverable. It can be hard for Lichess people to get into the mindset of a newbie, because I've been looking at Lichess pages for 8-9 years or something. I can no longer see it with the eyes of a beginner. It's just not possible for me. So I think this is a very good question about making things more discoverable, and we would absolutely accept specific suggestions. So if there's an element that you missed, that you think more people are missing, that could be made more discoverable, absolutely make a GitHub issue about it. That would be very useful. What else do we have? To what extent is Lichess classes used? Is it a popular feature? It's a very popular feature. Lichess classes, which is the feature for chess clubs and youth chess classes, where a chess coach can make a large number of accounts for their students and maintain control of those accounts, and the accounts will be safe for children, etc., etc. It's extremely popular. There are large chess and schools organizations in the U.S. that use them for, dozens of schools in some city. We get questions about it all the time. Very, very popular. It's one of the features I'm most proud of. Lichess Tactics would benefit from a comment section, possibly with board comments similar to Chess Tempo. It's weird that when we click the tactic itself, we just get taken to the game. Often the comments are just criticisms of the players. Yes, a comment section for tactics would, I'm sure, be useful. And we were talking earlier about maintenance cost for features, and a Lichess Tactics comment section would have a significant maintenance cost that is not development related. Let's see if you can figure it out. If Lichess Tactics had comment sections, that would make the site significantly harder to maintain. It may be worth it. I'm not saying we would never do it, but it would make the site a lot harder to maintain. It would make the jobs of people maintaining the site harder, and I'm not referring to the developers, although they would, of course, have to maintain the code like any code. Does anybody know what I'm referring to? Somebody got it. Yes. Moderation. Exactly. Many tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, I don't even know, puzzles are done every day on Lichess, and all of them would spawn comment sections, and we would be responsible for making sure that nothing untoward was said in those comment sections. So, again, I'm not saying we would never do it. I just want you to understand how we see things. When the suggestion for a comment section comes up, the content people like me are like, great, absolutely, let's do it. That sounds great. The developers sort of shrug, okay, whatever, and the moderators are just rubbing their head. Oh, no. Oh, please, no. Oh. But what I'm saying is that we do go to a comment section anyway. It's just off topic. So this is like a forum. Well, it's the same thing. Moderators have to watch the forums too. Is there a development timeline for Lichess? No, nothing so involved. It's getting a little testy in the chat. Will there be a second chance for cheaters who apologize? Without mentioning any specific cases or specific cheat detection techniques, amnesty is at least possible in some cases with Lichess moderation decisions, including engine assistance or communication violations, etc. It was a very lawyerly answer. I don't know where that came from. There's just... Oh, let's see. Ooh, well, I think it's about that time. Let's give somebody a raid. Who are we gonna raid? Who's this person here? What's the username here? Let's raid this person. All right. Well, everybody, I need to be going. Yeah, got it, buddy. So we're gonna do a raid. Oh no, wait, I can't do that. I need a proper window. Sorry, we're gonna do a raid. One moment. We're going to raid this person named Slowdum, who I'm sure is very nice. I must be going. We'll do this again soon. This was super fun. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you for your questions. If you have other questions, take them to the Discord. Do not send them to me in PMs. They will be ignored. Go to the Discord. Ask in the support channel. I hope I answered some of your questions.